Hey everybody, Dan Got a Thunder here, back to update the solo lane tier list. So for those of you realize this is aimed more towards like plat and below level players, or people in more like your casual, community focused teams and leagues for that. This is not me trying to predict the SPL. This is not me trying to tell people who are masters, grandmasters, what you should be picking in the solo lane. I consider myself to be a fairly competent solo laner in the grand scheme of things, but even there, I would only say that I am a platinum tier player. So, with that being said, here is everything as it stands. This is including some of my thoughts on the 7.8 patch notes, which I haven't technically done a video on yet. Gonna doing a bulk filming day, so if you see a bunch of uploads go up on Smite content, you'll see what the hell's going on. So, first one, Shakulu is an A+ level character. He is incredibly good. The only thing that prevents him from being S tier, which for me is broken, is the fact that he doesn't have built-in inherent sustain. He's really hard to dive. He does have the mobility to get out. He has a really good clear. He's a giant pain in the ass. I think the nerfs take him to A+. I think without the nerfs and in the 7.8 patch to decrease his damage in his ultimate and decrease the damage off the dash, I think he would be an S tier character. But I think now he's just kind of an ordinary A+ level god. I think Yorm is moving down to A, so that puts him here. Yeah. Jormungandr is down to A. Still very good, but I think the itemization was a net loss for him. I think some of the strengths of things like the sledge means that Jormungandr falls just a little bit, and they did nerf him directly as well. He's still really good. The things he's good at, he is still good at. I just don't think he's quite on the same level as some of the other characters now. Or Odin is also another character that is going down to A. I think he's still pretty good, especially considering his kit's not that hard to understand. He's a little more niche if he can't get that value out. I don't think he's just as good of an all-purpose bully. You need to be getting the value out of that ultimate, or be shutting down healers with it some way, shape, or form. So if you can't do that, I would say Odin will struggle. But in those matchups, you still want him. He still does those things very well. Like I said, it's just that he's not quite as evergreen of a pick as he used to be. Joining them, though, up in A+ is Ratatoskr. Ratatoskr got massive buffs in the patch. Pick up the Health Acorn. It doesn't matter that they're nerfing the power by 10. It's still incredible. 7% healing and mana restoration on every ability hit means you're restoring 20% on every rotation of your abilities. Ratatoskr's friggin' nuts. Go Stone of Gaia, Sledge, Mantle of Discord. He doesn't die. If you die, it's because you stayed too long. Or they've rotated literally the whole team to kill you. And even then, you have your ultimate, you can get out. Ratatoskr is incredible right now. And he does play 5 position. You can't change my mind on that. Bellona is going down to B. I don't think she's terrible, but even with some of this new itemization, I don't think there's enough to justify her being above average in any way, shape, or form. She just doesn't do enough, and especially in the late game, I don't think she does enough to justify anything other than she's okay. And again, this is a list that favors high floor, low ceiling characters. And even in that kind of environment, I don't think she's anything better than all right. Zhang Kui is moving up to A. He does whatever you really want him to. You can play him as a high damage mage. You can do that. He has a lot of sustain in his kit, which helps in an environment where there is less healing than there used to be. He does have that. He has utility. He does actually synergize very well with Ring of Hecate because the Book of Demons counts as 2 stacks. It's actually pretty fun. You can make an auto attack Zhang Kui work, or even just splash that in to start focusing out that, you can play him in the backline and fighting into a diving attacker. So they're getting 15% reduced power. It's pretty nuts. You can do whatever you want with Zhang Kui. Gem of Isolation is still amazing on him. He's a good character. Don't sleep on him. Guan Yu, I'm also moving up to A as well. And so I think this is going to solidify the tier. He benefits because Glad Shield's not in the meta. He was able to make use of it, but not quite as well as some others. The Blackthorn Sledgehammer combo for him is great. And I don't think there's really a whole lot of bad matchups for Guan Yu, except for maybe Achilles and Ratatoskr. Hoonbots, I'm pulling off the list because he's really not seeing a whole lot of usage. Geb is coming in though at C tier. He was being played a good bit during the Smite Challenger Circuit playoffs, mostly by Mando Warrior. He's good if he can get off the ground. It's just that you need to have your jungler needs to understand that you're going to be behind, you're going to be under tower a lot, so you need that extra help. So I wouldn't recommend him in ranked. But if that's a comp you're going to play for the late game, you're going to play for this double Guardian composition, you can definitely make that work. Again, you just need to have your jungler understand your power is not coming online for a while, and you're going to need that extra help. And Baba Yaga is also being pulled because she's not being used. She's not a solo laner. She's a pretty okay mid laner now. But because she's not being used in that role, like I said, I think only Horus falls into this F tier where you really can't use Horus at all. See, some honorable mentions, things I want to bring up. I think healers overall are pretty good. Afro is still A+. Shunga, you can make an argument for her being a little bit higher, but you do have to play around her a little bit more. Mulan is also a character that I think people are going to be sleeping on. She is going to get a lot of power. She does get very strong, but once she has a lot of strength, she just doesn't have a good engage. Her ultimate's pretty miserable for engage. The arrow's even worse. It's just a matter of how do you fight with her, but she just does a lot of damage, or she just doesn't die. It's just a matter of learning how to play around that, which is why I think she's a little bit below average for a newer player. But that being said, newer and less experienced enemies may not be quite as adept at dealing with that. Osiris also really does not like the changes. He really liked the old meta with the Gladiator Shield. But he's down here just because I feel like he's a little bit of a more deceptively difficult character to work. He's not left click and W key like some players would think. There is a lot of attack canceling. There is a lot of abilities, and if you're not hitting all of your sickles and all of your spirit flails, Osiris is pretty ordinary. And if he is got the same farm or less than his solo lane opponent, he can't do anything. He is a character that needs the lane. He needs to be able to bully, and if he can't get that bully potential out, there's not a lot that Osiris can do. So this is what I think the meta looks like. I think if there's one character to learn in the meta, it's going to be Achilles. I don't think he has any bad matchups. He has the sustain in his kit. The Achilles 1, which is this close range stun, but there's a gigantic friggin' cone, is getting a buff of 20 damage at every rank that he didn't need. I think Achilles is the best character in the meta right now. He has that execute as well. So I would learn him. If you're going to pick one. If you're going to pick two, pick Ratatoskr and Achilles. But that's my list right now. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully that's short, sweet, and you can just take a picture of this. This will also be the thumbnail. Thank you for watching. Make sure to vote. Let me know in the comments where you think I've got it right or where I've got it wrong. Take care. Catch y'all in the next one.